Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping straight into the really electric atmosphere of WWE's Euro Tour. Picture this. Birmingham, England, the place is absolutely buzzing. It's the latest Monday Night Raw stop, and we're just days out from the huge Clash in Paris event.
Exactly, and this isn't just any Raw. Our deep dive today, well, it's a crucial look at these rivalries just boiling over, power shifting all over the place, and these really personal battles. It's all heading towards some major showdowns in Paris. Our sources, Birmingham Brawls and Paris Prospects, they give us the perfect view into all this intensity.
Right. So our mission today is pretty clear. Unpack the biggest moments, the stuff that made you go, wow, and what it all means for Raw, #1683. We want to give you that shortcut to understanding this really complex road heading straight into Paris. Okay, let's unpack this right from the top. The show opens and who comes out? The undisputed tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Huge cheers, obviously. But then in the ring, he kind of drops a bomb. Says he's not the old him.
Yeah, he actually admitted it. Said Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins, and The Vision, they've taken a real toll over the last, year and a half?
He even said they've taken everything, claimed he has no bloodline left, even though he said he supports Jey Uso doing his own thing. That felt pretty raw, didn't it? Seeing Roman show that vulnerability.
It's maybe the most striking thing he said, feeling all alone in the ring. This isn't just about the bloodline crumbling. It feels like a crack in his whole persona, his armor. It could really redefine him going into Paris.
Definitely. A champion whose whole identity is tied to family. Admitting that. Wow.
And just as he's about to talk about Bronson Reed, who interrupts, Paul Heyman. But wait, he's not with Reigns.
No. He comes out introducing the tribal thief, Bronson Reed, who's carrying Roman's shoes, the shoe La Fala.
It's such a deliberate, dramatic switch. Heyman's basically throwing his lot in with Reed.
And Heyman didn't pull any punches either. He reminded Roman about their 5 years running the place, turning WWE upside down.
Rubbed it in.
But then, total knife twist. Says Reigns will be without a wise man in Paris. And that Reed is getting his advice now instead. That's cold. Calculated betrayal right before a big event.
Absolutely calculated. The message is clear. Roman, you're isolated now. And what makes it even heavier is Reed's challenge. He claims he's also from a Samoan tribe, but got exiled to Australia.
Right. Said he's the kind of Samoan Roman's ancestors warned him about. Said his tattoos were hard-earned, unlike Roman's.
That's not just trash talk. That's hitting Roman right where he lives, challenging the core of his tribal chief identity. It's an attack on his legitimacy, his heritage.
Reigns looked genuinely surprised, He invites Reed in, demands the shoes back, an apology, acknowledgement.
But Reed just tosses the shoes to Heyman, says Roman will be acknowledging him soon.
And that was it. Boom! They just went at it, straight into a brawl, spilling into the ring. Security rushes out, tries to separate them.
Barely could, though. Reed got the upper hand for a bit, even tried for the tsunami splash before Adam Pearce jumped in.
And they kept going, brawling around the ring, up the ramp, right into the commercial break. It was intense.
They fought until they were finally dragged apart and taken out of the arena. It tells you this isn't just for show. It's personal, and it hit boiling point immediately. Heyman's move didn't just make Reed a bigger threat. He gave him a strategic mastermind.
So think about that.
Yeah.
How quickly power can shift, Even for someone like Roman Reigns, your closest guy turns on you, your whole identity gets questioned. The pressure must be immense. Okay, moving from that fire to another one. The women's division. Just as much going on there. We had Rhea Ripley taking on Roxanne Perez.
And Raquel Rodriguez was definitely lurking, wasn't she? Little distractions here and there helped Perez focus on Ripley's knee.
Yeah, Perez worked that knee hard, but Rhea, well, she's Rhea, still managed to hit the riptide for the win.
But then the chaos started after the bell. Rodriguez and Perez jumped Ripley immediately.
2-on-1 attack. Looked bad for Rhea.
Until Io Sky ran out. Total surprise. She helps Ripley, chases them off. Said it was settling a last favor from last week, right?
Yeah, seemed like it. An unexpected save completely changed the dynamic there for a second.
But here's where it gets complicated. Backstage cameras caught the Kabuki Warriors watching, and Asuka looked furious.
Oh, she did not look happy. Totally misinterpreted Io helping Rhea. Started yelling at Sky backstage in Japanese. Sky tried to explain, but Asuka wasn't having it.
And Kairi-san looked caught in the middle, actually apologized to Sky with tears in her eyes before following Asuka. Wow. Those cracks and damaged CTRL, they're becoming full-blown fractures.
So thinking bigger picture, Naomi's pregnancy means the Women's World Championship is vacant. Stephanie Vacker is confirmed as a challenger. Adam Pearce says we get the opponent and date next week.
Right. So with alliances just shattering, like we just saw with Io and the Kabuki Warriors and new challengers like Vaker stepping up, that title picture is wide open. It's a total free-for-all. Io helping Rhea might have cost her big time with her own group, makes everything incredibly unpredictable.
Speaking of unpredictable, Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. That got heated too. Becky started by calling Birmingham a garbage dump. Charming.
Yeah, classic. Becky trying to get under the crowd's skin. Their friendly chat was full of insults. Becky basically said Nikki didn't deserve a title shot, had no respect for her.
Nikki tried to play the crowd, called Becky a coward, trying to bait her.
And Lynch fired back with history lessons about English oppression of the Irish, trying to dismiss Nikki. But then it got physical.
It always does, doesn't it? Nikki snatched the title belt, held it up. Becky kicked her, trying to get it back.
But Nikki went for the rack attack, and Becky managed to slip away, escaping up the ramp, leaving Nikki holding the belt.
So Bella gets a small victory there, maybe gets in Becky's head. You can see that personal history just fueling everything.
Exactly. Psychological warfare, just as much as physical. You got to wonder how these personal feelings and old grudges really drive things in that division. It takes a lot to navigate that kind of environment.
Okay, let's shift gears to the Judgment Day. A lot of internal drama there, too. Dominic Mysterio is backstage clearing things up, whatever that means, while Finn Bálor and JD McDonough headed to the ring.
Right, and Bálor seemed hesitant about leaving Dom alone, but Dom convinced him. Then, during the Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough match, Bálor tries to interfere early and gets himself thrown out by the ref.
Just making things worse for his own guy. And while that was happening, AJ Styles pops up from the crowd and starts chasing Dominic all over the arena. The feed even cut out for a second. The Phantom Menace is relentless.
It really shows how Judgment Day's internal issues are spilling out, making them vulnerable and attracting outside problems like Styles.
So later they're in the clubhouse. Bálor is clearly mad at Mysterio, understandably.
But Dom, smooth as ever, just deflects. Says Bálor got himself tossed anyway. And then get this. He convinces Bálor that AJ Styles is Bálor's problem to deal with now.
Seriously, how does he keep doing that? Bálor just lets him get away with it again.
Pretty much. You could see the frustration in Bálor's eyes, like daggers. But Dom just manipulated him again. Raquel Rodriguez tried to play peacemaker, reminding them Liv Morgan wouldn't like the fighting, tried to get them focused on Roxanne Perez.
But the damage seems done. Dom's ambition is just tearing them apart from the inside.
He's a master manipulator. But is he helping or hurting the group overall? Right now, it looks like hurting.
Despite all that backstage stuff, we did get AJ Styles versus Finn Bálor later on. And it was actually a pretty balanced match, surprisingly. No Judgment Day running interference for Finn.
Which is rare, yeah. And Styles got the clean win with the Styles clash.
But Dom wasn't finished causing trouble. He goes to Adam Pearce, demands more, and somehow talks his way into an Intercontinental Championship match against AJ Styles for next week.
Unbelievable audacity. So think about it. He pawns AJ off on Bálor, Bálor loses, and then Dom swoops in to get a title shot against the same guy.
He's creating problems for Finn and the group while setting himself up.
Exactly. It confirms he's putting himself first, way ahead of the faction. He's becoming a major liability for Judgment Day's stability.
It really makes you wonder, is Dom a genius playing the game or just a massive problem waiting to explode? And how long until Bálor snaps? Okay, broadening out a bit. Some other interesting stuff happened. Kofi Kingston versus Penta. That was interesting.
Yeah, Kofi had what you called a panic flight up the ramp when Penta went for the Mexican Destroyer. Looked genuinely scared.
And you gotta love the New Day's antics. Xavier Woods was ringside in a top hat, neck brace, and using a walking stick.
And Grayson Waller was there too, with a clipboard, trying to get signatures on a petition to ban the Mexican Destroyer.
Classic. And of course, all that distraction helped Kofi steal the win.
It's what they do best, right?
Yeah.
That unique humor even when they're the bad guys. After the match, confetti cannons insulting the Birmingham fans, saying they wanted to go back to America.
All while Waller just kept throwing handfuls of confetti everywhere.
It just shows how strong their characters are. They use that humor strategically and honestly.
Yeah.
It works.
We also got some intense video promos for Rusev versus Sheamus in Paris. Rusev sounded dark, talking about being trained by monsters, wanting to hurt people who deserve it, starting with Sheamus.
And Sheamus's response was interesting too. Called Rusev cringe, yeah, but also admitted he's changed. Offered him a chance to re-earn respect, but made sure to remind Rusev who brought him back into the spotlight.
Adds another layer to that match. Then there was Bayley, a really compelling video piece about her struggling with her old hugger persona versus her current heel self. said she didn't know what to do and whom to listen to.
That was deep. It showed this real internal conflict. Not knowing which part of her past or present to embrace leaves her really vulnerable, makes her future seem very uncertain. And it obviously struck a chord because we saw Lyra Valkyria looking concerned about her backstage talking to Adam Pearce.
It just shows wrestling can tell these deeper stories, right? Identity crisis, respect, revenge, all wrapped up in the entertainment. All right, let's get to the end of the night. The main event, Chaos. The Vision, but without Rollins, are heading to the ring.
And then, out of nowhere, Roman Reigns charges from the side and attacks Bronson Reed again. They hadn't even made it out of the arena, apparently.
Security, Pierce, everyone floods out again, pulling them apart, escorting them out through different exits this time. Just pure chaos.
And immediately after that settles down, LA Knight attacks Braun Breaker. They start brawling all around the arena into the ring.
Yep.
This went on right through a commercial break.
It was insane. So many personal issues just exploding at the same time. Any idea of order? Gone.
Totally gone. Individual vendettas were just running rampant.
So the Braun Breaker versus LA Knight match finally starts. Breaker looked dominant for a lot of it, crowd chanting, "Who let the dogs out?" which was kind of funny.
Yeah, but Knight kept getting distracted by Paul Heyman, who's just lingering at ringside, gave Breaker openings.
And then the predictable interference. Seth freaking Rollins runs in, takes out Knight. That allows Breaker to hit 2 big spears, one outside, one inside for the win.
But it wasn't over. Post-match, Breaker and Rollins keep attacking Knight. So Jey Uso runs out to make the save.
Even though Roman basically told him earlier to think for himself, not rely on others.
Exactly. Gangi ignores that advice.
Yeah.
But then Breaker and Rollins overwhelm Uso too, and then CM Punk comes out.
Oh man, here we go. Punk goes after Breaker first, then he and Rollins start throwing hands. Breaker recovers, pulls Rollins out of the ring. Punk turns to help Uso.
But then Punk and LA Knight get into it. It's just a mess of bodies and rivalries.
And here's the twist nobody saw coming. Jey Uso gets caught between Punk and Knight, and he snaps. Super kick to LA Knight.
Wow.
And then, after a beat, super kick to CM Punk too.
Jey Uso taking out both of them. What does that mean?
Exactly. So the final picture is Rollins smirking on the ramp, watching his enemies tear each other apart, while Jey Uso stands tall in the ring over Knight and Punk.
If you connect that to the big picture,
Yeah.
heading into Paris, it's complete chaos. Personal vendettas are way more important than any alliances right now. It's every man for himself. Survival mode.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? In this kind of world where trust is gone and grudges run so deep, can anyone really rely on anyone else? What does winning even look like when all your enemies are busy fighting each other too? Whew. What a deep dive into Monday Night Raw #1683 that was. We saw empires shaking, new threats rising up, feuds getting really bitter, alliances just fraying at the seams. It's all setting up what could be an absolutely explosive clash in Paris.
Absolutely. This Raw really highlighted the complex stories, the character arcs. It shows how every single action, every little insult just ripples across the whole landscape. The personal stakes feel higher than ever right now.
So here's something to chew on until next time. Javi Uso, standing tall at the end after super kicking both LA Knight and CM Punk. Was that Jemmy finally saying, yep, I'm walking my own path truly? Or was it just, another chaotic reaction in a night full of chaos? How's this going to affect things with Roman, with Punk, with Knight? What's the real price of trying to stand completely alone in that kind of environment? Lots to think about. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive. If you did, please do us a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us keep digging into these stories. We'll see you next time.